Okay, well, I dipped my brush into some paint and I started to paint and I thought, wait a minute, I'm not including my friends in this. But they couldn't come. So I thought I'd just put it on YouTube instead. So, okay, more bad humor. I'm just gonna pretend, this you could call this dark stuff below here hills. I know I've already jumped into the sky, but I realized I did want maybe not so much another distant plane, but maybe just the thought of distant plane. So I'm gonna lay this color in here, and we'll just pretend maybe that it's some hills in the distance, or maybe it's part of the sky. I don't know. I really don't know. That could work. That could work. We'll put a bit of that in there like that, and and maybe one more. Okay. We'll do the Russia white. I'm going to go back to these colors. These colors. Now I do have cad yellow pale, and yellow ochre, and alizarin crimson, and white mixed up in here. That in general will be the most intense of these sky colors. I'm just going to give my brush a wipe and let me go back to those. But we'll leave the cads out now. We'll just go with the ochre and a little bit of alizarin crimson and titanium white in there. And I think we'll cut into there as well. Something like that. I'm going to bring the top across that way. Like so. I don't want that tree to be too pointy. Yeah. We'll cut into there. You can see, I think since the last video even, I've changed a few shapes in here. Well, this line. Maybe I didn't. I can't remember. I drove through the Fraser Valley today to go to White Rock, British Columbia. Beautiful little community. But in order to get to it, you've got to go through a gauntlet of traffic that is so nasty, or it can be. And on a day like this, which has just been miserable, rainy and windy, I mean, yeah, it has its own merits, that kind of weather, but I really prefer to be out in nature or in a warm room at home in front of the fire. Not driving behind tractor trailers on the freeway. Just not a big fan of that. I'm dipping into touches of cobalt blue and alizarin crimson. Doesn't look purple yet, but it's leaning in that direction. The idea is to fade things off on this side, fade things off on this side, fade things off on the top. Keep it intense here. I'm going to reinvigorate this, but I'm going to do that after I have the rest of the sky in. And if I have a brain after taking my frustrating drive today, I'll do a decent job of this. I know, promises, promises, who knows. No, I think that's coming okay. I'll just keep nurturing this pile. Well, nurturing it, really. I'm nurturing it by adding other colors into it, depending on whether I want to go lighter or darker, higher chroma, lower chroma, higher value, lower value. Okay, let's do that. I think I'd like to have that. Still continuing up the hillside like that. With one interruption right there. That'll do the job. Okay. And add a little more alizarin crimson and a hint of cobalt blue. A little more white. A little bit cooler color. Well, cooler color. Not really that cool, is it? Pretty orange back there. Okay. Alright, we could say that the sky is in place. And I'm going to add a little bit of cad yellow pale to it. And feather away from that tree a little bit. And on this side as well. Just a bit, not a whole pile, just a bit. Okay, get my brush of white and we'll go in again with even cleaner colors. Now we're at cad yellow pale. Well, I've been using a cad pale that I'm not too happy with lately, but I did still have some good stuff left over. So let me just use a bit of the good stuff here to highlight. A couple of areas. Sorry, I know that it takes me sometimes like 30 seconds to finish a sentence because I like to stop mid-sentence if I need to think about what I'm doing. Yeah, It's okay. It's okay. It's not wonderful. Okay. I want more than just this here. I would really like to have just a little more life. I don't need the whole sky to be overbearing, but the values are just a little lower than I would prefer. Maybe that's a bit better. Okay. A little bit of brush wipe time and a bit of backing up for a moment time. Yeah, it's not too bad. But I'm going to take some titanium white and add just a bit of not cad yellow pale, but yellow ochre. Even though it's a lower chroma, it's easy to get a pretty high value off of the deal, and I don't mind that at all. Kind of funny because I'm sort of using yellow ochre as a highlight amongst my highlight. Now we'll mix a little cad yellow pale into it. I'm not using any linseed oil at all. I'm just monkeying with. Straight paint out of the tube. Okay, I think it looks all right, but I keep being tempted to do more, and from experience I know that unless I'm really out to lunch with this, doing more will just weaken things. So, I'll make that. I like to break, if I have a long straight line, I like to break it a little bit. Not too much. I don't want to do more. I think that's good. I think we're going to weaken things if I carry on. So let's steal a little bit of this color here. And just dip it in there. I always think this should show up over here, but it doesn't have to. No. I'm gonna be brave. I'll take the high road. I'll take the high road, and I'm just gonna say I think I like that as it sits. Okay, so voila, or walla, or walla walla, depending on where you're from. Zoom in. There's a. As long as you're not basing your life on a fear of forest fires, I think that's, you know, that's sort of sunsetty looking. don't really care. I think that so far it's becoming a fairly attractive article. Okay, guys, have a good day. See you.